Some truths don't reveal themselves all at once. They resist the quick answer. They sting the eyes when handled too directly, and they peel back in layers, each one exposing something raw, something sacred, something that forces us to pause and ask, wait, what kind of God is this? So welcome to Peel the Onion. I'm your host, Cody McClellan, and in a new series called Biblical Paradoxes, we dare to sit with the tensions that most people avoid. So let's get uncomfortable. Let's ask hard questions with soft hearts. Let's peel the onion and see what's at the center. Judas Iscariot. To many, his name is synonymous with betrayal. He's the man who sold out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver coins, the friend who kissed the Son of God and handed him over to death. But beneath the surface of this betrayal lies a disturbing paradox. What if Judas's sin was necessary? What if the arc of redemption, the suffering, the crucifixion, the resurrection of Christ required a betrayer? What if Judas, far from being merely a villain, was an instrument in the divine story, a role written before he was born? Psalm 41:9 foretells, even my close friend, someone I trusted, one who shared my bread, has turned against me. Zechariah chapter 11 seems to foreshadow the exact price of the betrayal. So they paid me 30 pieces of silver, the handsome price at which they valued me. And Jesus himself confirms in Matthew 26:24, the Son of Man will go as it is written about him, but woe to that man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born. That verse alone probably deserves its own video. So what do we do with Judas? He did the unthinkable, and yet, without his betrayal, there is no arrest, no trial, no cross, no resurrection, no salvation. He was a key to unlocking the greatest gift in human history, but turning that key crushed him. After the deed was done, Judas felt remorse, not arrogance. He returned the money and he confessed. In Matthew 27:4, we get him saying, I have sinned, I have betrayed innocent blood. But the burden was unbearable. He died by suicide, alone, ashamed, outside the story of redemption that he helped bring about. Some say he went to hell. Others wonder, is that justice? Peter also denied Jesus 3 times. Yet Peter wept, returned, and was restored. But Judas's failure was of a different nature. He didn't just fold under pressure. He played an essential role, a pivotal role in the very machine that would kill God. The line between villain and vessel blurs. Here's the haunting truth. Judas was used by God to bring salvation to the world, and yet may have been lost to God in the process. Was he guilty or chosen? Was he free or fated? Was he cursed for doing what was already written? Or did he choose his path knowing where it would lead? And the deepest sting of all is if the salvation of all required the damnation of one. Was Judas a monster or a martyr we refuse to mourn? Would love to get your thoughts on the topic. Was Judas part of the divine plan? Or was he just merely acting out of free will and the hurt and guilt caused him to kill himself? In a future video, I'd love to get into his suicide, the 2 accounts we get, and compare and contrast the 2. I think that's a very fun thing to chew on as well. But really excited to hear what y'all have to say about this one. And in the spirit of Dan McClellan, I'm going to give a shout out. He's a biblical scholar. I'll try to put a link in the comments down below to his channel. I've learned a lot from him over the years. I do not want to try to do what Dan McClellan does or any of these scholars because they are way more versed than I am on the topic, and they can do it much better justice than I can. I just like to position tough questions that the Bible presents and try to wrestle with them. I think for us to understand God and what his voice sounds like, it's important that we do our best to discern what it is that he was trying to communicate to us. And so, with that being said, shout out to Dan McClellan. I don't have his same closet, but today's shirt is Stop Wars, an Inca tribute. Until next time, my name's Cody McClellan. You're watching Peel the Onion. Be blessed.